Hello students, in this video we are going to discuss some important topics in 4th lesson electromagnetic induction and alternating current. First we are going to discuss about the conclusions of Faraday's experiments. The conclusions of Faraday's experiments are stated by two laws. According to first law, whenever the magnetic flux linked with a closed circuit changes, an EMF is induced in the circuit. According to second law, the magnitude of induced EMF in the closed circuit is equal to the time rate of change of magnetic flux linked with the circuit. If the magnetic flux linked with the coil changes by d phi b in time dt, then the induced EMF can be written as by the expression epsilon is equal to minus d phi b by dt. This equation denotes Faraday's first law. If suppose the coil consisting of n number of turns which are tightly wound such that each turn covers the same area, then the flux through each turn will be the same. Then the total EMF induced in the coil can be written as epsilon is equal to minus n into d phi b by dt, which is equal to minus d of n phi b by dt. This equation is arised from the previous equation by simply multiplying the number of turns n in the right hand side. Next one is about Lenz's law. A German physicist, Heinrich Lenz, performed his own experiments on electromagnetic induction and deduced a law to determine the direction of the induced current. This law is known as Lenz's law. So from this we can understand that Lenz's law tells about the direction of the induced current. So what is Lenz's law? Lenz's law states that the direction of the induced current is such that it always opposes the cause which is responsible for its production. Next we are going to discuss about the two illustrations. First illustration tells about the direction of the induced current. Let us consider a uniform magnetic field with its field lines perpendicular to the plane paper and pointing inwards. These field lines are represented by crosses, which is shown in figure. A rectangular metallic frame A, B, C, D is placed in this magnetic field with its plane perpendicular to the field. The arm AB is movable so that it can slide towards right or left. If the arm AB slides to the right side, the number of field lines such that the magnetic flux passing through the frame ABCD increases and induces a current. As suggested by Lenz's law, the induced current opposes this flux increase and it tries to reduce it by producing another magnetic field pointing outwards, such that the opposite to the existing magnetic field. The magnetic lines of this induced field are represented by red colored circles, which is shown in figure. From the direction of the magnetic field thus produced, the direction of the induced current is found to be anticlockwise by using the right hand thumb rule. When the arm AB is moved towards left side, it will decrease the magnetic flux. Then the induced current this time produces the magnetic field in the inward direction, which is represented by red colored crosses, such that in the direction of the existing magnetic field. Therefore, the flux decrease is opposed by the flow of induced current. From this, it is found that the induced current flows in clockwise direction. Next one is about illustration 2. This illustration tells that the solenoid will behave as a magnetic dipole when the bar magnet is made to move towards and away from the solenoid. So let us discuss about that. Look at the picture. A bar magnet is taken and the north pole of the bar magnet is moving towards the coil. In this case, the magnetic flux linked with the coil will increase and it will induce the electric current. This flow of induced current through the coil becomes the magnetic dipole. which means that the near end of the solenoid to the Bohr magnet will become a north pole and the another end will become a south pole. Similarly, when the Bohr magnet is moved away from the solenoid, the near end of the solenoid will become south pole and the another end will become north pole. Next one is about Fleming's right hand rule. According to this rule, the thumb, index finger and the middle finger of the right hand are stretched out in mutually perpendicular directions as shown in figure. If the index finger points the direction of the magnetic field and the thumb indicates the direction of the motion of the conductor, then the middle finger will indicate the direction of the induced current. This Fleming's right hand rule is also known as generator rule. Next one is motional EMF from Lorentz force. Consider a straight conductor rod AB of length small l in a uniform magnetic field B vector which is directed perpendicularly into the plane of the paper. Let the rod move with a constant velocity V vector towards the right hand side. When the rod moves, the free electrons present in it also will move with the same velocity V vector in the magnetic field B vector. As a result, the Lorentz force acts on free electron in the direction B to A and it is given by the expression FB vector is equal to minus E into V vector cross B vector. This is equation number 1. Due to this force, all the free electrons are accumulate at the end A, which will produce the potential difference across the rod, which in turn establishes the electric field E vector directed along the direction BA. Due to this electric field, the Coulomb force will start acting on the free electron along the direction AB, and it is given by the equation F E vector is equal to minus E into E vector. This is equation number 2. At the equilibrium position, the force due to the magnetic field is equal to the force due to the electric field, which can be written as FB vector is equal to FE vector. So FB vector is replaced by minus E into V vector cross B vector. Similarly, FE vector is replaced by minus E into E vector. So after simplifying this right hand side and left hand side, we can get BEV into sine 90 degree, because here the cross product is given. So cross product must be replaced by sine by introducing the sine angle. So this left hand side term will become BEV sine 90 degree, because the angle between V vector and B vector is said to be 90 degree, which is equal to E into capital E. So which will become BV is equal to E, because sine 90 will become 1. This is equation number 3. The potential difference between the two ends of the rods can be written as V is equal to capital E into L, which is equal to B into V into L, because E is replaced as B into V. Thus, the Lorentz force on the free electrons is responsible to maintain the potential difference and hence produces an EMF. The equation for the EMF can be written as epsilon is equal to BL into V. This is equation number 4. Since this EMF is produced due to the movement of the rod, it is often called as a motional EMF. Next one is about motional EMF from Faraday's law and energy conservation. Consider a rectangular loop of width small l in a uniform magnetic field B vector which is directed perpendicularly into the plane of the paper. A part of the loop is in the magnetic field while the remaining part is outside the field. If the loop is pulled with a constant velocity V vector towards right side, then the magnetic flux linked with the loop will decrease. According to Faraday's law, the current is induced in the loop which flows in the direction in order to oppose the pull of the loop. Let x be the length of the loop which is still within the magnetic field. Then its area can be written as L into x. Then the magnetic flux linked with the loop can be written as phi b is equal to integral b vector dot dA vector, which is equal to integral b dA cos 0 degree, because the B vector and the area of the loop dA vector both are acting in the same direction, so that the angle between them will be 0 degree. Here cos 0 will become 1. So this term will become B into integral dA. Integral dA is nothing but capital A. So the equation will become B into A, which is equal to BLX. Here A is replaced by the area of the loop L into X. As this magnetic flux decreases, the magnitude of the induced EMF is given by the equation epsilon is equal to d phi b by dt, which is equal to d by dt of BLX. Here phi b is replaced by BLX. Here B and L are constant, take it outside. Then we can write dl into dx by dt. Here dx by dt is nothing but the velocity. Hence the equation becomes epsilon is equal to BLV. This is equation number 1. This EMF is known as the motional EMF, since it is produced due to the movement of the loop in the magnetic field. From Lenz's law, it is found that the induced current flows in the clockwise direction. About energy conservation, we will discuss in the next video. Thank you students. Leave your doubts in the comment box.